Everybody, welcome back to Mining Stock Daily. We are going to conclude today with another corporate update. Happy to welcome back in from Enduro Metals CEO Mr. Cole Evans. Enduro Metals trades on the Venture Exchange with ENDR and on the OTC QB with ENDMF. The company continues to explore and work that Newmont Lake Project up in the Golden Triangle, and Cole joins us. He was so kind to us. He even joined us on his own vacation. So, Cole, thanks so much for your time here.
We're joking. It's never vacation in this business, unfortunately, Trevor. But that's okay. I appreciate it. Always good chatting with you.
Yeah, I enjoy our chats too. Listen, the last time you and I talked, probably a month or two ago, you had put out some drill results. We had talked about that, but really, it was important that last conversation you and I had. You had mentioned like next big thing for the Burgandy Ridge project within Newmont Lake was going to be this geological model, and really trying to see how the pieces of this deposit are put together, and that will help kind of lead your next move into exploration with the drill bit. You put out that news a few weeks ago, so I'm sorry this conversation's late, but you did put out that news that geological model is complete. So let's hear from you. What did you and the company realize or find out from putting this data together?
Yeah, so a couple things, and as you mentioned, apologies. I guess we've had two press releases since that time, and it can sum down to three critical things in the deposit model. One is the source rock. Where's the metal coming from? Two, how is it being trapped? What's hosting it? And three is, what are the structural controls, right? These types of deposits are what they call hydrothermal systems, right? Hot water moving around in the earth. And I always use the analogy, no different than hot water moving around in your house. You need pipes, you need conduits for that fluid to move. Mineral deposits are the exact same. And so you'll see in one of our recent press releases, we talk about this concept that we're calling the copper line. And it's basically a 15 plus kilometer long structural trend, if you will. Very similar to, you could look at KSM, similar idea. Red Chris, similar idea. Cadia, similar idea. We're not reinventing the wheel. And what you're starting to see, so Burgandy, like I said, where that geological model is critical, is it tells us, like I said, how the metal is being formed, where it's being trapped. And then now we can start to look along that line, that copper line, and look for those multiple centers, which is what that North Toe release is about. So that's also one of our latest ones. I think highlights in there, 57 grams gold, up to 4%. These are the highest grade ones, right? They're not, of course, not all 57 grams. I wish they were, but 4% copper, over 2.5 kilometer strike length, and that's a long strike from Burgundy. So we believe they're all related systems on these big structural corridors.
All right. So you did mention, this news release that kind of breaks down a lot of this information, and you can take a deep dive into this thing. It's pretty heavy. There's a lot of thoughts and kind of data in here, but you hit home. This seems very much copper driven, and that seems that's what the company's going after.
Yeah, certainly. It's a copper gold story, but you hit it where it's probably copper over gold. And we think that's really important. You look no further than Newmont Newcrest deal, of course, right? The rumors between Barrick, First Quantum, even projects like Reko Diq that Barrick has decided to put forward in the last year. As everyone knows, Mark, everyone is trying to get into the copper business. Those who are in the gold business, right? And those who are already well set in the copper business, it's going to pay. It's going to pay very well in the medium and long term. So we believe very strongly in that copper gold mix, but being a little more weighted towards the copper end.
Yeah. Well, and you talk about the copper line, and this is something that I'll be honest with you, I was not familiar with. but this copper line is a 20-kilometer kind of corridor, I guess you can say, that hosts the likes of KSM and the Galore Creek project. So this is really interesting. Can you kind of break down, explain to us what this copper line really is, structurally, within the geology of the Golden Triangle, because it's very important.
Yeah, no, it is really important, and really, it's like I said, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just taking it to a spot where a wheel hasn't tracked before, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, geologically, without, I love to get into geologic rabbit holes, so I'm
I
going to
know
do
you
my
do,
best
and
not to.
this is a place for you to do it. This is
Okay,
the place
okay.
for you to do it. I'm not going to stop
Okay. Well, I'll try and balance it at least. But
you.
so we're we're sandwiched in between Galore Creek and KSM, as you mentioned, right? And it, I'll use KSM as a perfect example. KSM occurs over this structural corridor, what's often called the sulfurets thrust fault. It's more than just a thrust fault; it's a series of faults. It's not just one, but a series of faults that all are in these northeast, what we call trans-arc structures. That's the
Mm.
geological term, trans-arc. There's about 15, 16 kilometers in scale. And what do you have along these trans-arc structures? Multiple porphyry centers, right? KSM is Kerr, Sulphurets, Mitchell. But then there's Snowfields. Then there's Ironcap. Then there's Tudor Gold up at Treaty Creek or Goldstorm, or Treaty Creek, and then their deposit Goldstorm, and the further things they're finding along that line. It's the exact same idea. Of course, we're much earlier in the exploration development on our end, but so structurally it's the exact same idea. Where it differs is the porphyries are a little more copper rich. It's copper gold versus if you're in the KSM area where it's gold over copper.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Thank you for that. And it's nice that we're
Over.
doing video now, because you do get very animated when you're talking
Uh,
geology. So now people can actually see it instead of just hear it. Uh,
that,
so
that's
what do
the
you,
fun stuff, right?
yeah, Cole, what do you, I mean, really, you have this model. You told me and the listeners
Mm.
a while ago this was an important step because it will really define what exploration looks like at Burgandy. So what do you do with this now? What is the
Yeah.
company doing on the ground with this now?
Yeah, so literally, and there's gonna be I'm gonna give you a high level at this point because there's gonna be more information coming on or coming out about this in the next few days.
Fair
But at
enough.
a high level, it's about extending. It's looking at these multiple centers. We feel that we're at a point that Burgandy, we've done the drilling that needs to be done to show, hey, look at our very last drill hole at Burgandy, literally from last season, the very last assay in the last hole ends in 0.59 copper, 0.3 gold, right? So you're in or like we're showing that, okay, this thing's got size to expand. Now it's about showing those multiple centers along that structural corridor. So you look at that North Toe release as an example, right? Again, never been touched, brand new. So we've got boots on the ground that are starting there this week. We're increasing our survey size from what we did last year by 500% over that area. That, like I said, is happening now. People were literally moving into the field now. Like I said, we're going to give a more detailed update in a couple days when things are rolling with it. But it is happening now. Yeah, and it's showing. Again, I'll use that KSM analogy. Okay, well, if you've found the one center here, we don't need to go drill them all. We just need to show with Burgundy that, hey, the science works, and here's 3 or 4 other locations along this copper line that match the same criteria. That's highly attractive to a major miner that's looking for district scale potential, right? They're not just looking for one kick at the can. Any of these major projects, you look anywhere around the world, there are multiple centers. I'll use Cadia as a perfect example, being alkali porphyry. Cadia, it's really 5 deposits along a
Mhm.
6+ kilometer structural corridor, right? And the list goes on. So that's what we want to show. We want to show that, hey, I can't tell you today that is what it's going to be, but we can show that it's got a pretty decent shot. Like the joke is, where do you find the next mine beside the old one? Well, how about sandwiched in between two? Like
Right.
that's might be the absolute butter zone. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cole, in order to get this work done this summer, you are going out and you currently have an open financing for 3 million Canadian here.
Yes.
It's a tough time. Markets risk capital's really sitting on the sidelines right now. What's your, how
Yeah.
challenging is this for you and the company to get
It,
going?
frankly speaking, yeah, like you said, market wise, it's a horrible time. Fortunately for us, we have supportive shareholders. Myself, I'll be participating in this financing as well as with all of them. And what it comes or and I've talked about this before. Sorry, I'm trying to remember our last conversation, not mixing it up with other ones. But I've talked about this before, where we need to extract value. We need to leverage other aspects of our project to create value, and that's something that we're very, very much focused on. And like I said, there's going to be more updates coming out shortly, so we'll get on another call as those come out and chat about that. But it's about this capital, okay, is wrapping up the bow, if you will, on bigger deals when we're looking at that copper line, as well as really leveraging McClymont, because the high grade gold versus a copper gold porphyry, it's two different appetites, right? The people that are into the porphyry is not necessarily into, particularly the miners are they're not that interested in the gold. And people who are going to be interested in the high grade gold, when I say the gold, I'm talking, like an epithermal scarring system, right? The people who are interested in that, not necessarily going to be interested in the porphyries, because they're just projects at two different scales. So you need to separate and combine like items and extract value, where if you focus on one while it's in one package, you're not going to get value for the other. So that's something we are very much focused on. But I want to make the statement clear on here is that for the people who need to hear it, we're not going to do a stupid deal. Just because it's a tough market doesn't mean we're going to give this company away for a stupid deal. We're not desperate to do that. We don't need to do that. So that's where we're at from a, like I said, finance side right now. We know we can get the support and we know we can move it forward. And we're not going to do a stupid deal just because the wind doesn't happen to be blowing market wise.
Strong, honest words there, Cole. Appreciate that. All right, well, let's leave it at that, because it sounds like you and I, we will be talking here as the exploration strategy for Enduro is probably going to be hitting the tape here and shared with the market soon. So we'll probably touch base shortly after that.
Certainly. Absolutely.
We'll talk to you then. Thanks, Cole.
Appreciate it, Trevor. Always good chatting with you.
Yep. That's your update from Enduro Metals, everybody. Again, trading on the Venture with ENDR and on the OTC QB with ENDMF.